We are joined live right now from downtown Atlanta, the state capitol, from his office. Governor Kemp is with us. Governor, thanks a lot for joining us. We know you've had a very long day. We appreciate it. As you get ready to go home tonight,
good evening. What
keeps you up at night? What about this coronavirus as it continues to escalate, not only around the country, but in the state as well? What will keep you up?
Well, I think first of all, I tell people to remain calm. The risk for most Georgians remains low. The concern for me is as we continue to see this ramp up, it could put a strain on our healthcare facilities. So that's the reason today we rolled out the additional subcommittees from the coronavirus task force dealing with the homelessness or the homeless and the displaced, and then also on really the preparedness when you think about logistics and supplies. So we're being very forward thinking there. I hope we never get to that day. But you can imagine if our healthcare facilities start filling up, people are going to want us to have plans on where the overflow is going to go, and those are the kind of things that we're thinking about. We got great teams that are dealing with what's happening today, but we've had a lot of people in the last couple of weeks, and with our subcommittees that we're rolling out today, we'll have a lot more people that'll be focused on what's going to be going on in a week, 2 weeks, and a month, depending on how long this goes.
We had a story about 10 minutes earlier in this broadcast. Our Hope Ford was reporting from Dobbins Air Base tonight about these 36 cruise ship passengers, Georgians, who believed that they would be released to their homes. That has not happened. The federal government, the HHS, has stepped in to say no. They feel they're under house arrest. Will the state do anything to try and free these people so that they can go home and begin their quarantine there?
Well, we're certainly looking into that. That's an issue that it was our understanding when the initial talks were going on that would be the case. I haven't heard from them as to exactly what is going on now, but we're glad to look into that and address that issue if we're, have the ability to do that. I certainly share their concern, but I also know that the federal government perhaps will have reasons for that as well, and would love to, hear from them on that issue.
I've received a number of emails tonight from contractors, small business owners, who wanted me to ask you about the possibility of relief for these business people that are greatly impacted by what is going on right now. Do you down the road see any kind of stimulus or package system to try and help some of these people?
Well, I think certainly the best place for that, in my opinion, is at the federal level, but I can assure you that with the Lieutenant Governor Duncan and Speaker Ralston standing with me today, we're going to do everything that we can to keep our economy strong in our state. Obviously, this is going to have a big impact when you're canceling things like the Final Four, the start of the Braves season, NASCAR races with no fans and no NBA games and other things that we've seen happening. But we're resilient people. We've been through tough times like this before. Part of our economic subcommittee, if you will, from the task force today, that's going to be part of their job, is to see what kind of ideas we can have so that we can keep as much of the economy rolling during this tough situation that we're in, but also look to see how we can make it and have it come roaring back, which I know that it will do.
An unprecedented move today. The state legislature has wrapped things up. How does that impact government? What does that mean by them closing shop early? How does that impact what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, I think Georgians should be very proud of the steps that the legislature took today. We are putting them first. Basically, we're going to get through with our work tonight. They'll gavel in with limited staff tomorrow to do first readings on bills and legislation to keep the process moving, and then they will suspend the session. So it doesn't mean it's over. We'll just come back and finish our work at the appropriate time. But right now, for the safety, health, and welfare of our state and our citizens, all three of us, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, myself, felt like this was a prudent move to do.
For those people watching tonight that see these pictures at Publix, at Kroger, where people are wiping out fruits and vegetables and toilet paper and bottled water and all of that, what can you say to them tonight to give them some sort of peace that this is not necessary, that there is no need for
I'd urge them just to remain calm. Yeah, just remain calm don't overreact. Save a loaf of bread for your neighbor. We are not going to cut off the supply chains. We're going to make sure that those things continue to work. This is not going to be a 2 or 3 day snowstorm. You know, we're going to be dealing with this for weeks, perhaps longer. So people just need to have confidence that we're going to continue to communicate with them. You don't have to make a rush on supplies like that. Save some for your neighbors. We're not going to restrict where you can't go buy groceries or have access to public transportation and things of that nature. We just want people to be mindful and not, especially our elderly and vulnerable population, not to go out into public spaces to large events, and really anyone should avoid large events if at all possible. If you're having to do things like that or you can't avoid it, make sure you're washing your hands, using your hand sanitizer, use social distancing measures so you're not going to be in the line of fire if somebody, you know, coughs or sneezes and they happen to be infected with the virus and they don't realize it. Just smart things that we can do to try to curb the trends that we're seeing, and especially the curves that we've seen in South Korea, China, and northern Italy.
Governor Kemp, thank you very much. Yeah, I've read a couple of things about northern Italy here in the last 15 or 20 minutes about quarantining individual residences and communities. I mean, that is very sobering to read what is going on in northern Italy right now.
Yeah, it's unprecedented times, but I can assure Georgians that we're going to remain calm and continue to act as needed, and we will keep them posted.
Governor Kemp, we appreciate your time tonight, and thank you very much for all of the information, and we will certainly be checking in with you tomorrow as we continue to take a look at all of the developments, all of the moving parts of the coronavirus going on right now. All right. Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it.